Have you ever noticed that leadership feels heavy when you're exhausted? I've seen and I've observed over my short years of living that when people are tired, especially leaders, emotions start to lead the way. And when emotions start leading the way, it doesn't become a good thing. I was playing with my daughter. She's 6. This was about maybe 8 months ago. And uh, my daughter can play all day. So she can play all day. We're going to the park. And 5 minutes in, I'm tired. Now, I work out. I've worked out for a long time. You know, I could eat better, but we're not talking about that. And I realized that I just kept getting tired and exhausted. So, I was like, just power through it, keep running with her, keep jumping, doing all these things. It was fun. But then I started to just realize, why am I this tired? Why am I this exhausted? And it wasn't because I wasn't in the gym. Something underneath was brewing, and I needed to actually build more capacity. So what does that mean? What does that mean to build more capacity? I was literally playing with my daughter, and I was in between, like sending off an email or in between checking up on something. We were new to homeschooling, so everything was thrown off. Homeschooling. We were getting ready to move to a different state. We my oldest daughter was coming back from school. It was a lot of things happening, and I didn't have the capacity to even play with my daughter. Not because I didn't want to, not because I didn't work out. I didn't have the capacity because I needed to build something new within me. So what I started to do was legit. When it's time to play with her, everything has to be put away and away from me. And it got to the point where I had to have timers to say, don't do anything else. Try not to think about anything else. Give this time solely to her. And I had to do that with my wife, my oldest daughter, and things of that nature because my leadership was starting to crack. And it first was cracking inside of me where I noticed I was in the gym. And inside of the gym, I was legit, gotta answer this email, gotta do this. I needed to figure out what capacity meant for me in that season, and it helped me. And I was violating the principle called the the capacity principle. When when I noticed that, I realized that when seasons change or when transitions are coming or just life in general, there are certain things you're gonna have to put aside. Certain seasons require certain discipline. Certain seasons require certain focus. Certain seasons require you saying, "Hey, maybe I'm off social media for a couple months. Maybe I gotta go to the gym a little earlier so that I don't interfere with my family." I had to do that. I was at the gym around 4:30 in the morning, which meant I was studying earlier for my intake of God's word. I had to do those things so that I wasn't just meshing my day and so that I wasn't feeling like the people who I was leading was getting shortchanged because I didn't have the capacity. Have you ever thought to yourself, man, if I just had more time, I would do better if I just need a couple more hours each day. The answer is probably is you need more structure or to trim the fat, cut things out in the day to help you. But I need it to be strong in this area because I lead my family. Consider a weak battery for a car. Doesn't matter how big, how beautiful the car is. If the battery is weak, the car is not going to be moving for long. And here's the thing, usually when the battery is weak, you start getting signals before the battery dies. You start getting maybe the hesitations of the car. You start getting maybe the indicators on the dashboard. Things are letting you know, hey, something's wrong or we got to fix this. And I've been there before where you'd be like, I'll handle it later. And then later isn't coming till you're stuck in the parking lot. Now you got to get a jump, and then you got to go buy a new battery. But think about how small the battery is compared to the engine and compared to the actual car. It's really small. But that small battery, that small thing charges the car so that the car can actually run. Right? You start noticing that if you have windows that are electrical, everything starts to shut down. And just like a car battery, or just like what you may know better, a battery for your phone carries so much data, so much information. If the phone dies because you're not charging it on a consistent basis, it's not going to yield what it's supposed to yield. Or even if you just charge it at 70% every day, you don't let it fully charge, it's not going to yield what it's supposed to yield. Leadership needs capacity. If you're leading a family, a business, or even leading yourself, ask yourself this question: where am I exhausted at? What do I need to cut out? What do I need to probably move? Because I'm going to end up running myself what we would call ragged. I'm going to end up causing damage to not only myself, but the people I lead. So leadership needs capacity. Or maybe you're thinking, hey, I was supposed to be working out consistently, but I just can't find the time. When your body is tired and your body is not up to par, emotions get loud. And when emotions get loud, drama starts to come out. Sometimes bitterness, rage, all sorts of things come out when you're tired. You ever been hangry? Hungry and angry at the same time? It's not a pretty sight. Ask yourself, what do I need to do in this season of my life to build this capacity that I need to not only carry me through, but to help me be the leader I need to be for the people I lead, but most importantly for myself. In our school group, we challenge leadership in the way of taking care of yourself is not just self-care. Self-care is great, but taking care of yourself is your mandate because you have people to touch, to lead, including yourself. Where do you need to build the capacity?